Welcome to This Explainer. If you just take a second and look around today in our incredibly fast-paced world, almost all of us are dealing with a shared silent epidemic. I'm talking about the overthinking, the crushing stress, and this constant baseline anxiety. We wake up, we immediately reach for our phones, we totally drown in the pressures of our jobs, and then we try to go to sleep with these chaotic thoughts just racing through our minds. Finding true mental peace, it feels completely impossible in all that noise. But today, we're going to explore a profound solution to this modern crisis, drawing directly from Jay Shetty's transformational work, Think Like a Monk. We're going to unpack exactly how you can find real stillness, and the best part is, you don't have to abandon your entire life and run off to a secluded forest to do it. So let's dive right in. Think about that chaotic, endless stream of bumper-to-bumper traffic. It's actually a pretty perfect mirror for what's happening inside our own heads every single morning. We wake up to just an exhausting barrage of digital noise. We get trapped in this endless cycle of scrolling, comparing ourselves to others, and just reacting to things. We really have to stop and ask ourselves, are we actually living for ourselves at this point, or are we just living for our notifications? That's the modern trap. Our minds get so completely cluttered that there's absolutely no room left for any new positive thoughts to even enter. And this brings us to the core conflict we face every single day. It's the monkey mind versus the monk mind. Now, our default state, that's the monkey mind. It swings wildly from branch to branch. One second we're checking a notification, and the next we're agonizing over some random regret from 5 years ago. It's totally driven by temporary emotions. The monk mind, on the other hand, is deeply centered, it's focused, and it's driven by your core values. Now, Jay Shetty actually lived this transition. He literally left his life in London and went to live as a monk in an ashram in India for 3 years. When he finally returned to the corporate world, he realized that this ancient, grounded wisdom is exactly what everyday people need to survive our modern chaos. So how do we actually build this monk mind? Well, it breaks down into 3 steps. Which brings us to part 1, letting go, clearing out the external noise. So who are you really? It's a tough question because the truth is our self-identity is very often just a complete illusion. There's this famous quote that captures this perfectly. It goes, "I am not what I think I am. I am not what you think I am. I am what I think you think I am." Crazy, right? We basically spend our entire lives behaving exactly how we assume everyone else expects us to behave. And that is exactly where the mirror test comes in. Next time you see some expensive car or a shiny new phone on social media and you just desperately want it, I want you to mentally look in the mirror and ask, is this actually my choice, or am I just trying to impress someone else? Recognizing that external influence, that's your very first step to letting go of an artificial identity. Now, once you start clearing out your own internal illusions, you have to take a hard look at the people around you. Negativity is literally like a virus. It slowly but surely just eats away at your mental health. And there are 3 specific types of toxic people you really need to watch out for. First up, the complainers. You know the ones. They will find a flaw in absolutely everything. Second, the cancelers. These are the folks who immediately shoot down every new idea you have, constantly telling you, oh, you can't do that. And finally, the casualties. They are always playing the victim card, fully believing the entire world is out to get them. Trust me, these energies will completely drain your monk mind. Okay, so how do we practically handle this negativity virus? There's a brilliant, highly practical solution called the 25-75 rule. You need to strictly cap the amount of time you spend with negative or toxic people at 25%. Maximum. The remaining 75% of your time has to be fiercely protected. You spend that time with people who inspire you and actually help you grow. Look, if someone in your life is overwhelmingly toxic, you just have to create some conscious distance. And if you're wondering what the best way is to reverse any of that lingering negativity inside yourself, it's gratitude. Honestly, just shifting from complaining to simply saying thank you automatically rewires your brain right back into a positive zone. The final thing we absolutely must let go of is our paralyzing relationship with fear. We all fear something, right? Failure, rejection, winding up alone. But here's the thing. The monk mindset doesn't run away from fear. It actually sits down and has a conversation with it. The crucial concept here is detachment. Fear breeds when we get overly attached to the idea of things being permanent, a job, our social status, even our physical bodies. But nothing is permanent. Therefore, fear is not a full stop that's meant to paralyze you. It is an alarm clock. If you're terrified of an upcoming exam, for example, that's just an alarm signaling that you need to study more. We have to learn to use fear as a helpful signal, not a dead end. All right, let's move to part 2, growth. This is all about discovering your true alignment. Think about it. Everything you do has a driving intent behind it, and that intent completely dictates your long-term happiness. There are 4 main drivers here. If you're driven by fear, you're acting just to stay safe. It's external, it's negative, and it only offers short-term security with zero real growth. Now, if you're driven by desire, that hunger for money, fame, status, that's selfish. It just leads to endless dissatisfaction and super high anxiety. But then look at the internal drivers, duty and love. Duty is responsible. Working hard for your family or your society brings deep respect and stability. And finally, driven by love, a pure desire to help others and spread joy, that is what brings ultimate peace. The whole goal of the monk mind is to shift your daily decisions away from fear and desire and anchor them deeply in duty and love. And when you do that, when you align your intentions with duty and love, you inevitably discover your true purpose. In Indian philosophy, this is called your dharma. It's actually a beautifully simple equation. Dharma equals your passion plus your expertise plus your usefulness. Passion is what excites you from the inside out. Expertise is what you are naturally skilled at doing. And usefulness is how those things actually help the world or society. Think about it. If you have passion but no expertise, well, it's really just a hobby. If you have expertise but absolutely no passion, it's just a boring job. But when all 3 of those intersect, that is when you find your dharma. And once you start living in alignment with your dharma, feelings of boredom and confusion, they pretty much disappear from your life forever. But to maintain this alignment, monks rely on highly structured discipline. You can't just think your way into a monk mind. You really have to act your way there every single day. This is where the TIME routine comes in. T stands for thankfulness. Start your day by being deeply grateful for something, anything, your health, or just the fact that it's a new day. I is for insight. Spend just 15 to 20 minutes feeding your brain some positive knowledge, maybe through a book or an explainer like this one. M is for meditation, just 10 to 15 minutes of focusing on your breath to calm your nervous system. And E is for exercise, move your body. And the ultimate pro tip for making this routine work, do not touch your smartphone for the first hour after you wake up. Seriously, protect that first hour from all the digital noise. And that leads us perfectly into part 3, giving, discovering the ultimate peace found in service. To truly be able to give, we first have to tear down the biggest wall standing between us and genuine happiness, our ego. Let's be honest, ego is a trap. It constantly swings between making us feel way superior to everyone else or deeply, painfully inferior. It survives on that exhausting cycle of validation. Constantly wondering, I did this really great thing, why didn't anyone notice me? The monk mindset replaces that ego with humility. Humility means not letting the praise go to your head and not letting the criticism break your heart. Think of a truly magnificent tree. When its branches are heavy with ripe fruit, it naturally bows down. It doesn't stand up rigid and tall. It actually bends down to offer its gifts to the world. Now, giving starts with a mindset of abundance, and that is completely fueled by gratitude. And hey, this isn't just nice spiritual poetry, it is backed up by hard science. 23% research actually shows that people who simply keep a daily gratitude journal can lower their stress levels by up to 23%. Not to mention, it heavily improves their sleep quality. By literally just writing down 3 good things that happen to you each night before bed, you physically shift your brain away from a mindset of lack, stressing over what you don't have, and move it to a mindset of abundance. You start to realize the universe is already giving so much to you, and that is exactly what empowers you to give back to others. And how we give is deeply, deeply connected to how we manage our relationships. Let's face it, relationships today are incredibly fragile, mainly because we place these impossible expectations on them. There are 4 distinct purposes people serve in our lives. First, you have teachers. These are the people we learn from. Second, sustenance. These are those rare few who provide true, unconditional support through absolutely anything. Third, companions. People who are just meant for fun and shared presence. And fourth, dependents. The people who rely entirely on you. So much pain is caused in life when we expect unconditional sustenance from someone who is really only meant to be a companion. By understanding these limits, we stop getting our hearts broken and we can finally offer true, undistracted presence to whoever happens to be sitting right in front of us. All of this brings us to the ultimate crowning lesson of the monk mindset, seva, which translates to selfless service. Look, we are not placed on this earth merely to consume resources, make a bunch of money, and just exist. The ultimate purpose of human life is to help others. There is a profound, truly unmatched healing power in seva. When you give your time or your energy to help someone who can offer you absolutely nothing in return, you unlock a level of deep internal satisfaction that literally no luxury item in the world could ever buy you. And the true beauty of seva is that you don't need to be wealthy or powerful to get started. You can start incredibly small, and you could start today. Because service is really just about presence and empathy. It means giving someone your undivided time. It means sitting quietly and truly actively listening to a friend who is feeling down. It can be as simple as feeding some stray animals in your neighborhood or going out and planting a tree. These small acts of selflessness, they actively break down your ego and connect you directly right back to that monk mind. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to reflect on this closing thought. Peace isn't found by escaping to the Himalayas. It's found by removing the veil of stress and ego from within. You don't need to abandon your life to find clarity. By letting go of your monkey mind, discovering your dharma, and committing to even small acts of selfless service, you can absolutely find total stillness right in the middle of a chaotic modern city. So I'll leave you with this final question to carry with you today. Are you going to let the noise dictate your life tomorrow morning, or will you wake up and choose the peace of the monk mind?